Hi everybody, happy Saturday. I just had a class for the first time in a long time here at my new place in Houston, Texas. And one thing about running a yoga studio for so very many years was this very evident feeling of safety in the space to have meaningful conversations. And one thing I want to mention and ask you guys today is, are you having meaningful conversations with people? Who are the people you're having meaningful conversations with? And what are you doing within your own life and process to find this connection to meaning? Okay? I had someone else recently say to me, "Hey, I miss talking to you. I need meaningful conversation." This is important. I think a lot of us are facing this concept of maybe having a meaning crisis within our life. Like all of a sudden things are just really chaotic and seem to have less meaning than maybe we thought previously. But if we're not having and surrounding ourselves with people in our life where we feel like we can have meaningful, honest dialectics with, be truthful and vulnerable with within our day-to-day life, within our environment, that may indicate something to you. Can you be honest with your loved ones? Can you be truly vulnerable and truly yourself and have deep, meaningful, rich, robust, transformational conversations with the people you're surrounding yourself with? What I find is that very often we separate outside of ourselves to find meaning and have conversations with other individuals that provide us this sense of meaning. I'm not saying that you can get all of your source of meaning from one person. That's inaccurate. That's an illusion. But what I do see is a tendency for people to seek meaning outside of their environment. That tells me something about your environment. That tells me that maybe you're not connecting or feeling vulnerable or safe enough to connect with the people that are in your life on a day in and day out basis in a meaningful way. Often we create this caricature of who we are in our environment, and we don't want to break that character. But I'm here to tell you that we do need to have meaningful conversations. And at some point, meaningful conversations need to actually transmit into meaningful action and doing things to where your life has more meaning and more purpose. But before that comes, who are you connecting with within your life that's providing you a source of meaningful conversation? Okay? If you have a surrounding group of core people within your life where you don't feel you can be your true self and grow and be vulnerable and be honest and make mistakes and feel no judgment when you're speaking to them, this is a very good indication that either you're not being your true self in your environment or your environment is a reflection of you choosing something that's not unhealthy. And if that's the case, we need to do deeper, further investigation of why. Why are you complying with environments that are unhealthy for you? Is it that the environment is just a reflection of the choices that you're making, right? This is where the work becomes difficult. Hi, Rose. Hi, Samarth. This is where the work becomes difficult because you are a part of your environment. There's no division, there's no separation between what you're seeing in your environment and your role in it. So very often it's easier to blame the environment, blame the other person, blame who's on the opposite side, right? And to feel virtuous within the self. It's all their fault. It's this person's fault. Actually, that's not accurate. That's a scapegoat. Maybe it's partially that person's fault, but you are the one with the control and the power to not comply with the healthy environment. That has to be on you, right? So I just wanted to talk today because I see this through so many individuals that come across, my work over the last many, many years is I find so much meaning here, right? When we come to these classes and we commune with each other, they find so much meaning and safety within these spaces. And I love that, but it also concerns me that we're not having meaningful dialectics more often in our life. Okay, we need to find our own meaning, our own purpose, and we need to connect, and our environment will then mirror that once we commit to the meaning that we're seeking within ourselves. So it's not always the other guy's fault. And I understand sometimes, for some of us, connecting with people vulnerably or connecting with people in general is difficult to do. But what I want to encourage you all to think about is to put away all the masks that you've created over your true self to fit into certain environments. Sometimes we even do this within our own household. I know we do this at work sometimes, or we do it out in the public. We put on a different face or facade to, seem good. Facebook does that. Facebook's really good at showing those principles of where we're not authentic. But if you're doing that in your own home life, this is an issue. This is a real problem. This is going to weigh on you very heavily. So who are you having meaningful conversation with? Are you having enough meaningful conversations? Right now, this time in history, you need to be having deep, meaningful conversations with people, right? Because the goal is to take that meaningful discussion and dialogue and actually put it into action out into the world. YouTube, these social media platforms provides us all a room and a space to talk. And a lot of people listen. But at one point, are we going to actually do and take these meaningful conversations and create a world in which we're working harmoniously to be our authentic self inside and out? So find somebody you can have meaningful conversation with. Notice when you're separating from yourself to have meaningful conversation outside of yourself. Maybe your therapist is the only person that you feel you can be open and vulnerable with, and at least you have that one person, but at some point, it would be a good idea to face yourself and ask yourself, why has the environment I've created around myself been so, it has been the antithesis of me feeling safe and secure? Where is that coming from? What was I taught? How was I conditioned to believe that I must sabotage myself in my environment and then I'm suffering and I only find meaning way outside of what my environment is? So please be cautious, please be diligent of where you're placing yourself. It is your job and it's your choice to either stay in an environment that's unhealthy for you or to move away from it. And anybody who has to move away from an unhealthy environment, you need to first remind yourself, get very real, and remind yourself that you put yourself there, okay? You need to take responsibility. It's part of the process. You put yourself there for some reason. You thought it was the best thing to do at a particular time in history to put yourself in that environment. But now you got to move out of that environment. And it's never pleasant. It's never pleasant. Moving out of one perceived reality and environment into another. It's never pleasant. But if you have the God of your own understanding at your side and you're willing to trust and faith the unknown, you will be more than safe. You have to take the step. It's on you guys, okay? No one else is coming to save you. Nobody's coming to save you in this world. You have to do the work. You have to connect with the higher being of your understanding. I have no problem for me saying that that is God, and that is what's given me the strength to step into the unknown. If you don't have anything, then it's going to be very, very, very difficult to step into a world that you cannot see and that you don't have control of. So who are you having meaningful conversations with? Do you want an environment where you have more meaningful, rich, beautiful conversations, honest conversations with people without judgment? If you don't have that, guys, you gotta find it. And you gotta take the necessary steps to stay around those people and those environments, because guess what? Those are actually healthy environments for you. Don't settle for less. Have a great day.